Welcome to G.O.Q TV. Welcome to G.O.Q TV. Grabs of quality. Grabs of quality. We've got it all.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Girl Boss Friday. Today I have with me a good friend of mine. Some of you may know her from a video that she did for us a couple weeks ago on how to assign monetary value to your tasks. I'm gonna give her a few moments to introduce yourself.
Thanks for having me, Portia. Hi everyone, as Portia said, well, my name is Rufaro and I'm super excited to be joining you all. I watch all your videos on YouTube, so I'm excited to be in this space with you.
Thank you, Rufaro, for taking time to come again on our program today. Today we're going to talk about financial literacy. So this is one of the causes that Rufaro is really passionate about. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. So Rufaro, I know that you do a lot of things in regards to financial literacy. I know you have recently launched a YouTube channel where it's centered about finance in general. So what made you get involved in financial literacy? What sparked that initial interest in financial literacy?
Yeah, honestly, I think there's so many things. So if I go look back when I was in Zimbabwe, right? So grew up in Zim, was born and raised there. And I've always been, so I'm the firstborn, and I've always been that child who was very frugal with their money. So my mom would always say, sometimes she'd always be like, you know, like, you know, like you spend with your money, or like, not change it, like you really keep money. And I'm not really sure where that's from. Like, so my mom would give me money, and would be that person, I'm hiding it in my drawers, some of my socks, I'm in so many different places. And yeah, and it just stayed with me. And then I started seeing how when I had that money saved, sometimes my mom would come to me like, oh yeah, can I borrow some money? And I was like, oh, okay. Like, you know, having this money just saved somewhere, I could actually buy something bigger in the end and I could use it. And so I think it kind of built when I was in school and I studied economics. And I really started to learn about money, about just the economy, about how people think, their spending patterns, etc. And I was really, interested in that. So something I've always had within me was now being tied with education. Then when I came to university and I studied finance, I was like, whoa, like seeing how my peers were spending their money, especially my peers in the Black community, how they were spending money, how they had not really received an education on it. And I'm looking back in Zimbabwe at just how people's spending patterns were. So I was really trying to connect the dots of how in Zimbabwe some people were spending and not spending, some people had money, not had money, and then here people who had access to so many things but didn't have trading on that. And so I was really trying to, to merge them and just share with people the things I've been learning because of the discipline I had built along the years. So yeah, it's a bit of a long winded answer.
Yeah, but that's a really good answer. I feel like I should have had you like as a neighbor growing up because I was totally the opposite. I was that one kid that didn't really know how to save. As soon as I got the money, I bought what I wanted. Instead of my mom coming to me saying, can I borrow some of your money? It was the other way around. I would be asking her for money all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about setting financial goals. Can you explain what a financial goal is and how do you go about setting financial goals and why you think it's important, especially like at a young age, to start setting those financial goals in your life?
Yeah, definitely. I think, first of all, starting off with a goal. We all know what a goal is. We all set goals. Hopefully we all set goals. These can be spiritual goals, physical goals, financial goals, professional goals. And basically it's, you have an idea of where you want to be spiritually, mentally, whatever, and you're putting in the work, you write it down. In the Bible, they say write things down. So you write it down, you do your research on it and you pray on it until you do the steps, you're disciplined to carry it out. So with the financial goals, it's exactly the same thing. So for me, I have my own financial goals and I have a financial plan where I would like to see myself in, in a certain space, maybe the next 5 years, 10 years, etc. God willingly, right? So in that, you're supposed to be as specific as you want to be. It can be small things, even with my budget. Your budget is also part of your goals, right? Because I want to save maybe this much. I want to be disciplined and allocate this much, because of those small steps. So you just start, break it down to the budget. Then you build it up to, okay, in the month, I want to have saved this much because maybe I want to buy a house, or maybe I want to invest, things like that. So you break it into sections, and usually I'm breaking it down into maybe like weekly, monthly, and then yours like 2, 3, or 5 years. I just think those are like really important numbers. So yeah, I think really writing it down and being specific. And then in terms of why I think it's important for young people to do this, honestly, I think everyone should do it. Age is just a number, right? So, it's like, you can't say, with spiritual goals, you can't say, young people, older people should have different spiritual goals.
Yes, that's correct.
So we should all expect ourselves to don't limit yourself because of your age.
Yes.
And especially when you're young, this is really the time to really do it. Okay, whatever age you are, this is the time to do it now, because when you look, we've been blessed with now. We don't know what can happen tomorrow. So max on the now. Set your financial goal now when you're young as well.
Yeah, thank you for that. So when you were talking about setting like weekly goals, monthly goals, that actually reminded me of something that I learned in school. I think it was one of the business classes that I took, and it was talking about goals in general and how they have to be smart.
Yeah.
So they said like SMART, S stands for like specific. You have to specify what that financial goal is. It has to be measurable. So you have to be able to measure it. It has to be attainable. You have to be able to achieve it. So you have to know like your boundaries. You have to know like, your means and what you can actually achieve. And it had to be like realistic, because sometimes we set like too big goals for us, right? So you have to kind of press it to like where you are, because sometimes when you set those unrealistic goals, you start giving up because you feel like it's unattainable, you can't reach it, right? And like you said, weekly goals, monthly goals, yearly goals, they have to be time bound. That way you can actually like be more effective in your way of like setting goals and achieving them. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and I think also for the SMART goals, like, yes, you can set a goal that you think is not attainable, but that's your big goal, right? But then with that big goal, they say your goals should scare you. If they don't scare you, you're not dreaming big enough. So that's the unattainable goal. And then you're going to break it down, like, the final method. Then the smaller ones are the ones that you can attain. It might not be easy, but you have to be disciplined. So
yeah, so do it step by step until you reach that unattainable. Okay, thank you so much. The next question will be, what is the greatest financial advice that you've been given in your life, and what financial advice would you love to leave with our audience today?
Yeah, so I will give you the best financial advice and something I've seen.
Yes.
So my grandmother, my mom's mom, she is goals for me. I think she's superwoman. She's such a powerful woman, and just the things she's done for herself. And she's one of the most disciplined people I know. My Go-Go is the person where, even with money, right? She doesn't invest in anything, she stays in Zimbabwe, but she's very disciplined with the money. She's one of those people who will keep her money somewhere in one drawer, then another bit of money sometimes even with the place. Yes, not under the. They'll see when you go to a house and you're looking for something, like, Go-Go, I found money. She's like, oh yeah, but she forgets that's the thing. And growing up, I didn't know what that was, but she was teaching me how to diversify, right? And that's something I was just like, wow, and I really appreciate that, so it's something I saw. But then in terms of words, this had to be from my father, and he said, always spend what spend what you have. There's no, and it just makes sense. Why would you spend money that you don't have?
Credit. Okay, that's another day.
Exactly. Even with credit, of course, but you should be able to pay it off, right? Yes. And then it just comes, I think it comes with being understanding your situation with, again, continually setting smart goals and with being disciplined. So I think those are the best things I have seen and received. Advice I would give to people, I think, because in this world, like, there's so many things that are thrown at, so many materialistic things. You really have to, for me, when I came to college, I remember my first semester, I didn't spend too much, but I spent more than I usually would. And I had to stop myself, and I said, I'm buying all these things to impress people who I don't even talk to.
Exactly.
And I had to really be like, no, I have my goals, right? So I think it's so important for people to really sit down, have a conversation with themselves about where they want to be, because we're not doing anything to impress people, right? So yeah, when you can understand that, then you will, make the sacrifices you need with your money and do things that make you happy and other people. So yeah.
Thank you so much for that very sound advice. So anyone who's watching, make sure you're trying to live within your means. Don't try to impress other people. Don't try to spend more than what you have, and really be intentional about setting those financial goals. We hope to see you in another episode. Thank you.
Bye.
If you like what you see and would like to donate to Girls of Quality USA and Belize, please feel free to send all monetary donations to Cash App at $Girls of Quality. Be blessed.